Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of all the numbers that sound like they came from a secret government agency. And today we're diving into Skillful Craftsman Education Technology, Limited's latest filing. Get ready to see how this education tech company is doing, and if their craft is truly skillful before we dive in. If you want more decoded financial insights like this, make sure you hit subscribe and join our growing community on Discord, all linked in the description below. Alright, so what we have here is a report that gives us a look at Skillful Craftsman's finances, specifically their unaudited consolidated financial statements as of the 30th of September 2025, and for the 6 months that ended on that date. Think of this as a mid-year checkup for the company, showing us how things are shaping up financially. Now, the headline here is that these statements are unaudited, meaning they haven't been given the final stamp of approval by independent accountants yet. That is pretty common for interim reports, but it is something to keep in mind. So this report is filed using a special digital format called inline XBRL. It is basically a way to make financial data easier for computers to read and analyze. It helps with transparency and allows for quicker processing of information. You'll see a bunch of these 101 files listed, like SH California L, Delaware F, Louisiana B, and PRE. These all relate to different aspects of structuring and presenting that XBRL data, making sure it is all organized and understandable for machines. Think of it as the sophisticated digital filing system that underpins the entire report. Now, let's get into the meat of it. We are looking at their financial performance. Since the specific numbers aren't in this particular document that we're analyzing today, and this document focuses more on what is being filed and why, we can't give you real-time figure analysis. However, typically for a company like this, we'd be scrutinizing things like revenue, expenses, profits, and cash flow. For an education technology company, we'd be looking at how many students are signing up, the revenue generated from courses or platforms, and how much they are spending on developing their technology and marketing. Are they growing their user base? Is their pricing strategy effective? Are their costs under control? These are the kinds of questions we'd be asking if we had the detailed financial tables. The company itself, Skillful Craftsman Education Technology Limited, operates in the education technology sector. This is a dynamic field, often driven by innovation and the demand for new skills. Companies in this space can range from providing online courses and certifications to developing platforms for corporate training or even vocational education. Given the name, it suggests a focus on practical skills and craftsmanship, which is a very relevant area in today's job market. We'd want to see if their educational offerings are in demand and if their technology is effectively delivering that education. The fact that they are filing this report in January 2026 for the period ending the 30th of September 2025 indicates a typical reporting cycle for our securities filings. They are registered to file under Form 20F, which is common for foreign private issuers in the United States. This means they adhere to us accounting standards and reporting requirements, even though they are based in China, specifically Shenzhen. This checkmark here confirms they are indeed filing annual reports on Form 20F, not Form 40F. This is a standard distinction for companies outside of the US and Canada. It tells us they are complying with the US Securities and Exchange Commission's regulations for foreign companies listing their shares in the US markets. This section gives us the why behind this specific filing. It highlights that Exhibit 99.1 contains those unaudited consolidated financial statements. Crucially, it also states that these financials are being incorporated by reference into their existing registration statements on Form F-3. This means that these new financial figures will become part of their updated offering documents for potential investors. It is like saying, hey, the latest numbers are here, and they're now officially part of our public sales pitch. And finally, we see the signature here, Bin Fu signing off as Chief Executive Officer. This is the official sign-off from the company's leadership, confirming the report's content to the best of their knowledge. It is a crucial step in the regulatory process. Looking at this filing from a high level, it is primarily a procedural document focused on delivering updated financial information. While this specific text doesn't give us the juicy financial numbers themselves, it tells us that Skillful Craftsman Education Technology Limited is diligently meeting its reporting obligations. The core story here is about financial transparency and compliance. The true test, of course, lies within those unaudited financial statements themselves. We'd be looking for growth trends, profitability, and how the company is managing its resources. For an education tech company, success often means demonstrating a growing reach and an effective learning outcome for its students, all while maintaining financial health. The real insight will come when we can see the actual revenue figures, the cost of delivering their education, and any changes in their assets and liabilities. Are they investing heavily in new technology or are they scaling back? Are they attracting more paying users? Or are they struggling to differentiate themselves in a competitive market? Without those numbers, it is hard to paint a full picture, but this filing confirms they are providing the necessary data for the market to evaluate them. So, what does this mean for Skillful Craftsman on the surface? They are a company actively participating in the US financial markets and providing required updates. The direction they are heading will depend entirely on the internal numbers we would expect to see in the full financial statements. The education technology sector is full of opportunity, but also significant competition. Their ability to innovate, attract and retain students, and manage their finances effectively will be key. A notable risk for any company in this space is the rapid pace of technological change, which can quickly make existing platforms or content obsolete. Another is the constant need to prove the value and effectiveness of their educational programs to students and employers. In conclusion, this report acts as a notification that updated financial statements are available. The real story, the one investors and observers are keen to see, is within those statements themselves. We await a deeper dive into their operational and financial performance to truly gauge their trajectory. Alright? That is our breakdown of this filing from Skillful Craftsman Education Technology Limited. What are your thoughts on how education technology companies should be evaluated financially? Drop your insights in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please smash that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. And don't forget to join our Discord community. Linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Corporate Decoder.